You're listening to the Smash Bros. Cast episode 79. I'm your host, N64 Josh. My co-host and Wait a minute. AV, what's going on?
What am I doing here?
Is this
is Nightcrawler brown now?
is this beyond the Metacast? What's going on? What's happened?
Yeah, I'm here to replace Nightcrawler. I'm a robot that was designed to.
That was designed.
Unfortunately, his charisma has not been ported over to this version, but maybe we can get that updated in a future version.
Maybe a firmware update. We can.
Yeah, exactly.
Fix that. So, guys, Crawler is he's in the Twitch chat right now, watching from his phone because he has a complete internet outage in his area. So we tried to make it work, but it was just a kind of a garbled mess. So it's just AV and I tonight. And it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a good time. But we do miss Crawler. So before we get started, if you'd like to get yourself a free book from Audible, you can go to audibletrial.com/SBC. The chair I'm sitting in is from OPSeat. If you go to n64josh.com/OPSeat, you automatically save $10 at checkout. And guys, my book, Another Castle, is now available on Kindle and as a paperback, and soon it will be on Audible. But right now you can pick up the paperback or the Kindle version on Amazon. Just search up Another Castle and put Josh after that and hit it. It'll be at the top, your top search result. If you want to be able to pick it up, there it is. So it's we're finally doing it.
Yeah, congrats, man. That's awesome. I'm really excited for you.
Yeah, it's good. So, with that, we are going to jump on over to the announcements. All right, so we have our Smash Bros. Cast tournament, usually the second Saturday, but I'm going to be out of town. So it's going to be happening May 25th. Signups will be starting soon. I'll probably try to get that up next week so that you guys are able to sign up. There will be a $20 eShop card for first place, 10 for second, and 5 for third. Okay, so you'll be able to go to n64josh.com/smash tournament for all the details, but I don't have it set up quite yet. So soon. Speaking of tournaments, we had Thunder Smash this last weekend, and I hear AV had a great time watching. And you want to tell us some of your highlights from the from Thunder Smash?
I unfortunately I only watched the production failures, and that were trending on Reddit and Twitter. Oh, no. There's some stuff with the analyst desk and some controversy about how they like introduced Vicky and Senpai as the first ever woman casting duo, and then you panned over to them, and you had Senpai going like this. Vicky wasn't too happy about that. I think that was about all I saw, and then I saw maybe Larry versus Charlie, but that was about it.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. I didn't see much myself. I did pick up a few highlights. I saw DeBuzz and MVD. I watched the finals, and it was kind of just all DeBuzz. like Olimar is wow.
Yeah, Olimar can be really oppressive. And it kind of a character that is super indirect with how it interacts with you. It's like he's just like throwing stuff at you, and he's not actually like getting in the brawl himself too much. So it can be very frustrating to play against Olimar.
Yeah, I believe is the first match, like 32 seconds the first stock was gone, and within about another 15 seconds he had him up to 46%. It was just kind of like, it was just an onslaught of Pikmin, you know?
Wow, that's pretty insane. I mean, Olimar can also like kill you in so many different ways: purple back air, purple up air, blue up throw, yellow spike, like, and then the fire ones are pretty strong too. Like, so many ways to get out of disadvantage. Down B goes through everything, so much super armor. Up B, you can attack out of up B. Like there's so many things that Hilmar can do.
That's wild. That's wild. So Dabuz ended up taking first, MVD second, Salem third, Wadi fourth, Larry Lur fifth, and Esam fifth. Razzo and Prodigy both seventh. So interesting. Nightcrawler was telling me before we jumped in the call. So it was like a $20,000 pot.
So it wasn't $20,000 for like the pot wasn't $20,000. First place got $20,000.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Crazy.
That's such bad design, in my opinion. That's just asking for no one to show up to your event, and lo and behold, like there were 80 entrants for this ridiculously like overproduced tournament. Like it was a little sad, honestly.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you could see MVD was like fresh. I mean, he smacked the table at one point because it was like first place was 20,000, second place 2,000.
Yep.
Right.
That disparity is, like, in my opinion, not really healthy. Like you should be at least proud of yourself for getting. Like, I mean, you're going to be disappointed no matter what, but you should at least be like somewhat proud of yourself for getting second. And I can assure you that MVD was probably like complete opposite of that. He's probably very disappointed, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. The silver lining, Dabuz wants to use some of the cash to help get people in the community to Evo. He's going to be putting on some Wi-Fi tournaments and things like that. And so I would like make sure to follow him on Twitter. You know, just kind of see what's up if that's something you're interested in getting involved in. It sounds like there's some potential there. Like I don't know all the details, but it sounds like he's going to host tournaments and maybe the winner gets a trip to Evo or something like that. You know, so
that I didn't hear about that. That's really cool. I'm glad that he's putting it to good use. that's really awesome.
Right. Yeah, it's really cool. So, and again, Crawler was telling me this after the fact, so I would suggest just looking him up on Twitter and seeing what that's about. His Twitter handle is Dabuz Senpai, if you guys are wondering. So that's twitter.com/Dabuz Senpai. So yeah, Thunder Smash this last weekend. What are you going to any other majors?
Me?
Yeah.
I am not planning on going to any majors other than possibly Shine. So there were some people in my Discord that were talking about meeting up with us at Shine. So I'm actually kind of interested in that. So that if I'm going to any major, that would be the one that I'm going to.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, let's see here. We're going to jump on over to the Smash News. Okay, so Sakurai and team are at work on DLC number 2, number 3, and then he just says one more thing.
So yeah, I heard about that. So apparently that news dropped about 2 or 3 months ago. So like that tweet that came from a reference point of 2 or 3 months ago. So it's totally possible that other thing was Stage Builder. But I hope it isn't, because I'm really excited about like new single player content, such as break the targets, or if Peon was here, he'd say board the platforms.
No, that's literally what the article says. I got Nintendo Enthusiast open right here, and so
yeah,
because that's the other thing with this tweet. It says this includes already announced Joker from Persona 5, Fighter number 2, Fighter number 3, and one more thing. So. We'll kind of just from this transition on into the little talking point I have here in the notes. Devil May Cry was announced for the Switch today.
Ooh, really? That's fun. So you think we're gonna get Dante as a playable character in Smash?
I mean, all I got to do is mix Bayonetta and Cloud, and you have Dante, right?
I thought Joker was mixing Bayonetta and Cloud. I guess we need another Bayonetta.
He's more like Bayonetta and Young Link, right? Because it's just the short little sword.
Yeah. Honestly, like if I get to say Smash Ultimate featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series, like that would make my That would make my entire video game experience in my life like that. That would be so funny.
Well, and and I mean, while they're at it, let's just make his Echo Fighter Nero at the same time, right? Just get him kind of a double launch, you know?
That would be really cool. I mean, they said they don't plan to release any more Echoes, but honestly, I think it would be a huge, like, it'd just be a huge cash grab to just release, like, simple Echoes. I don't understand why they wouldn't do that, like Dixie Kong or Funky Kong or like Birdo. Like, I feel like it would be really easy to make money off of us with just throwing us Echoes.
Yeah, speaking of Birdo, man, it seems like there'd be some potential there with that moveset with the eggs and other things like that. Like, yeah, interesting. I don't think I've ever thought about Birdo in Smash, so.
Yeah, it was weird. It just came into my head. I was like just thinking about Echoes and like, yeah, maybe like you shoot like there'll be some like charm mechanic if you hit someone with the egg. Like that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah. So you know, it is pure speculation. There is not any kind of announcement whatsoever. But you know, it might be kind of fun to have. And I mean, I saw mixed things. I saw like, because I immediately tweeted it. I posted, you know, immediately when they said, I was like, does this mean Dante in Smash? And then I started getting the replies like, oh, I hope not. I want this less than I want Steve. You know what I mean? Like it was, It was like, yeah, it was. But then other people were like, they did want, you know, and some people were like, oh, I want Nero, you know what I'm saying? So it just, you know, people are kind of up in the air. I'm like, and then I had people asking me, well, and who don't you want in Smash? Because I'm like, I'm kind of indifferent. I don't really, I'm neither here nor there on it really. And my reply was Hello Kitty. That's who I don't want in Smash.
Hello Kitty. So, yeah. Wait, there's like some. If you watch like Awesome Games Done Quick or Summer Games Done Quick, they usually do like the Hello Kitty game. I forgot what it was like.
Hello Kitty like, Cruisers.
It's pretty intense.
The racing game? Is that what you're talking about?
What? Which one?
The kart racer.
I think it's something like that. There was like some Hello Kitty adventure game.
Oh man.
So yeah,
so bad.
It was pretty hype. I didn't think Hello Kitty could be hype. So
yeah,
don't count it out just yet. But speaking of DLC content, did you like Stage Builder? Did you like go into Stage Builder and like mess around with it, or is it kind of like a no op for you?
I haven't touched it once.
Yeah, that's kind of my experience too. Like, it's kind of sad because it's supposed to be this like really fleshed out content. It's like Pion and I went and messed around with downloading some random stages, and we didn't really interact with it that much, which is kind of disappointing.
For me, and I think we're gonna probably be similar. Is like, that's not what you play Smash for, really, right?
Yeah.
It's like kind of a one and done thing, you know. Whereas like maybe if somebody was making some competitive stages, but like some of the stuff I saw was like just like anime girls and just kind of like the DVD logo, you know, things like this, and I'm just kind of like.
All right, the DVD logo was kind of hype though.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. It's just I don't like. For me, I'm like I don't. What am I doing on this? You know.
Yeah, I feel you. So, that's exactly how I felt too. But like, what if they brought back like the adventure mode from Melee? Would you play that?
I doubt it. I mean, the thing is like with and I've talked about it on here before, but like with Brawl, I sat down with my boys when they were real little. And we unlocked characters, and that was like every time a challenger approached, they were so excited and like, I want to fight him, you know, like that's, yeah. And so for me, I just don't see when I play Smash, I'm playing it. I feel like every time I fire up Smash, I'm playing it with the goal of improving, right? And if I'm gonna play a game just for like fun or something, I'm probably gonna go to like Mario Kart or something like that. You know, that's just not that I'm not having fun, but like with Smash, it honestly feels more like practicing every time I fire that game up versus like I haven't even played Spirit Mode once.
Oh wow, yeah, that's cool. I mean, the thing is, I totally get that. I'm pretty similar. But if they release Break the Targets, I would absolutely be going for records on Break the Targets. But that's probably my extent of like things that I would want for single player. But the thing is, like, there's this huge audience of people who only play Smash for like single player content and casual free for alls. So it's crazy like how it's different the competitive communities are and the casual community, and I wonder like what the actual size difference between the two is.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good question. I wonder. The thing is, I don't know what's the mode called where you gotta hit the bag, because I would play that like.
Oh, home run contest.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people said that they would love home run contest back. I think everyone likes home run contests. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd be down. So, but yeah, other than that though, like it just, I'm just kind of jumping in because I want to improve, you know.
I like it,
and that's
I approve.
That's basically it. So, the other thing here, I'm trying to multitask, so forgive me. I've got sound effects going off. You guys just heard Mario, but we're good now. We're good. I got it mellowed out. We don't have to hear him anymore. So that was the first talking point, though. It's just kind of like, is Dante a possibility? Like, you know, we know there's a Persona game coming to the Switch. It is a Dragon Warrior style or Dynasty Warriors style game, and so, you know, is this a sign? You know, who knows? And then Microsoft's got some Minecraft announcement happening on the 17th. You know, it looks like it's Minecraft AR, but
ooh,
you know, I don't know.
That sounds cool.
Who knows? Like, the thing is, there's only 4 more characters. So I'm just telling everybody now, you're going to be disappointed with somebody. Just be ready for that. All right? Like
I'm ready for Minecraft, Steve. Like my body's already ready for that.
Yeah,
like
you just want diamond swords. Just let's go.
Yeah, I've already accepted that, even if it's not going to happen. Like we're gonna get either like Undertale, like one of the Undertale characters, or Steve. It just has to happen.
So let me get this. Let me throw this out here. Is Minecraft Steve a sword character?
Oh man, I feel like you could like switch between like the bow and then the sword. I feel like it.
So he's a Link. He's a Link Echo, is what you're telling me at this point.
Yeah, he would be a Link Echo. That's so true.
Throws TNT like, instead of bombs.
Yeah, it's actually weird how Link is just a full-fledged Steve. Like there's like, I mean, like what would the building mechanic be in the game? Like how would that actually make sense? Like it would be so annoying and so different to play against. Like I don't understand how that would work out.
It'd probably just be something to do with the final smash. Other than that, it would just be his normal moves, you know, or just some normal moves, I would guess. Like maybe he can build, you know how like Pac-Man throws the hydrant down?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Maybe he can build some kind of barrier that takes, you know, a few hits to get, you know, so okay. you can protect yourself from, who knows, some projectiles or something, and then jump up and fire back. I don't know. Who knows? And I mean, and does he have, you know, what are they called? Like creepers? Don't those things like explode? Like maybe he, you know, maybe Neutral B pulls out a creeper or something. I have no idea. I don't play that much Minecraft. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how all this stuff works, but the thing is, a character like that, I just want to see what Sakurai does with it, you know, in the team. I want to see how creative they get with it, and you know, and we may not see it. It may be it may not be. It may not happen. We don't really know, but. Month and a half, I think we're gonna know at least one more character.
Yeah, I'm really excited either way. Honestly, the roster is so good already that I don't think I'll be that disappointed if it's someone that I don't like or is weird. I think Smash Ultimate's already like a really awesome game. So
yeah, that's where I'm at. The roster is so good that anything else is just kind of like, you know, like the icing on the cake, cherry on top, that kind of stuff. Like I have no clue who Joker is, what his game is like, anything. I know nothing about him, but I'm glad he's in Smash. He's he's got some unique moves. The Arsene is kind of, is different. So I think it's cool. I love seeing how creative they get, and as long as we don't have another Bayonetta, Smash 4 incident, then I think all is good, because the game is really well balanced right now, right? And
I absolutely agree. Maybe you could tone down Olimar, but even then, like, it's not like we're seeing like 4 Olimars in top 8, so. Right. But once we get to that point, we'll maybe it'll be like that. But we have a lot of character diversity right now, and it's really exciting. So I think everything is mostly how it should be, and getting even more balance is probably really hard. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting going forward. It's just nice to see that they kind of just buffed things versus really like nerfing people into the ground, So. That was
I
good.
think that's the way to go in terms of balance philosophy. It's interesting that they were still really, really conservative with their changes, even though like the buffs were still pretty low, the nerfs were really tiny. So like at some point, I think we'd like them to shake it up a bit, or maybe just increase the amount of these conservative patches just to kind of get a little more testing in, and I hope they're looking competitive. It really seems like they're bouncing off of Elite Smash, so I hope they start looking at competitive at some point.
Yeah, I was seeing quite a bit of just kind of some grumblings in Discord of people talking like I'm at 4.4 million and I'm playing on these crazy stages that don't belong, in Elite. Like, why are there items? Why we're doing like one stock? Why is the timer set to 2 minutes? And I'm not quoting like verbatim what they said, but like it just, there's just a lot of cheese that still takes place, and I think they need to tighten some things up with the competitive side online and things like that. Like, I'm just, whether it be a for glory mode or something, like even just separating people that want to play with the items better, just like cranking up that filter, like allow longer wait times if they have to, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because like there's this like difference between, there's this like really slight difference between saying you're like 99% sure to get the rule set you want, or at least close to it, or saying like just full for glory mode. And I think a lot of people are. It would be pretty easy for Nintendo to just say, okay, here, take this full for glory mode. But for some reason, they're gonna die on this hill of saying you're likely to get the settings you want, but for some reason we're not gonna do that. And maybe that's to increase matchmaking speed. But everyone was fine with it in Smash 4, so it is a little strange that they're kind of doubling down on this networking change, which is interesting.
Yeah. Before we get to our next talking point, I do want to back up on Minecraft Steve again. We were talking about it in my Discord earlier. I do firmly believe that if Steve makes it into Smash, that will move units. That will have kids wanting their parents to buy them a Switch just so they can play as Steve in a fighting game.
Yeah, actually, it will be pretty revolutionary. I wonder what the cross pollination is going to look like. Isn't like how many people are actually going to go play Minecraft after they play Steve in Smash? I mean, like everyone's played Minecraft probably to some extent, but there's probably some people who just like only play Smash and maybe will go play Minecraft. So that it is really exciting that if it's some really high profile character like that, then we'll get a lot of new players, which is cool.
The other thing that, as Nintendo fans, as Smash fans, that's all we're talking about is like Smash or Steve being in Smash. But like, you got to realize there could be a complete crossover here. That there could be Smash DLC put into Minecraft to some extent, right? There could be characters, or maybe even they come up with their own like, kind of cheesy version of Smash in Minecraft, where you got make your stages, who knows? Like they could definitely do some cross. I mean, they've already got like, you know, they've got like a Mushroom Kingdom. You can play as Mario, you can play as Bowser, that kind of stuff. But maybe we see more, you know, more characters make their way over. I don't know, and I don't know what that looks like exactly, but I do think from a marketing standpoint, Steve is a great choice just to sell units, because at the end of the day, that's what Nintendo wants to do, right? They want to make money. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
This question, and I feel like we kind of talked about it. We kind of talked about it a little bit in our last episode with you, when we did that crossover with Beyond the Metagame, and so, but like, you've been playing Smash a really long time.
Competitively, no. Well, competitively, been playing for about 3 to 4 years, which I guess is kind of a long time. But yeah, I've been playing Smash for like 10 years. So yeah, I've been playing Smash a long time, and I guess a decent amount of time competitively.
I want to talk about the times that you've maybe felt some fatigue or burnout, and, you know, was it as simple as just go and play other games? You know, what was it that got you to come back? I kind of want to touch on some of this stuff because, you know, I'm kind of just, we've kind of been hitting on this subject off and on a little bit, and I noticed even for myself, like I picked up another Pocket, and then Aiza put out the Art of Mario video, and I was like, oh, I have so much to learn again, you know, like he makes Mario look really dirty, so I'm kind of excited to dive into that. But what, I mean, over the past 3-4 years, you know, and even do you feel like you've hit any kind of fatigue with Ultimate?
I'm definitely hitting that point where it's definitely getting harder to learn. We recently talked about overcoming plateaus, which is cool because it's very topical with what we're hitting at here. And the problem is that when there's no new things, when there's nothing new to learn, when you feel like you're stagnating because you've reached your character's limitations maybe, or you feel like you get the same results in tournament. One of the most important things is, like you said, you mentioned something about switching characters or maybe playing other games. Switching it up is generally the only thing you can do. It's either that or you take a break. So it is as simple as that. But the thing is, sometimes something that we realized was switching it up could mean something completely different. Like you play completely new people, you go to completely different locals. It's not necessarily always just like switching up your character or maybe playing Destiny instead of Smash. It's very different than what you think it is. It's maybe completely changing your training routines or changing your mentality. And changing your mentality obviously is easier said than done, but it's just any type of drastic change is what's going to motivate you to really break past these plateaus.
Gotcha. And so, I mean, for you personally, like with like Smash 4, right? Because I'm sure you had your ups and downs with that game. I'm assuming, right? The new car smell had to wear off at some point, right?
Yeah. I kind of skipped over the personal aspect of it, but for me personally, I am actually kind of feeling that way right now. There's some matchups that DK just doesn't cut it with. I understand that right now as a player, I'm not fundamentally good enough to beat really good players that are playing matchups that are really awful for DK. So it is frustrating, especially because you see people succeeding with their character. You see people dominating with the character that is true to their identity, and you want to follow in their footsteps. However, I mean, I have been starting to like experiment a little more and kind of throw out my secondaries a little more. I've been realizing that that the experience and the knowledge that I gain from playing matchups with other characters does kind of leak over back into my DK as long as I understand the concepts behind it. For example, one of my main secondaries is Lucina. So I've actually been going Lucina more in tournament lately. I used to only go DK. Like for the last about 8 or 9 weeks, I've gone solo DK. But I've started to play Lucina a little more. And when I do an air dodge read with Lucina, with let's just say her back air, that same air dodge read would work with DK back air. So playing characters that are sort of analogous to your main character sometimes helps a lot because stuff crosses over as long as you're very actively aware of these things.
I think that was the biggest word ever used on this podcast, so thank you for that. That was that's good. Peon in chat says one day you'll beat the Inkling, AV.
I have beaten his Inkling, and also he's never beaten me in an ultimate set, so I don't know what he's talking about.
I think he's just trying to flex. That's all.
No, his Inkling kicks my kicks my butt. Like it's not easy. It's like the Inkling, but the thing is, like if I switch to Lucina, I actually do well against his Inkling, which is really funny because the matchup isn't that great for Inkling. So it is important how crazy matchups are in this game, especially with the broad selection of characters. Having a secondary is so important in this game.
Speaking of secondaries, I have a secret pocket. A secret pocket. No one's guessed yet. Last week I put it out on the show. I'll give a $10 eShop card to anybody that guesses. They get one guess. Nobody's guessed. Now, I'm going to give another hint because I want to keep this going. And I have to backtrack a little bit on what I said. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first started messing with this character, the random character I was playing against, I think was a heavy, it might have been like a Ganondorf or something like that. I don't remember. They were tall and they were heavy, and so with the fair I could actually carry them across the stage. But then when I went and tried it with other characters, it did not. So I told everybody, I was like, oh, it's a character that has a fair that carries. Well, it's not technically. It is a fair that kills. Okay. It doesn't spike, but it kills. It does kill at, a high enough %, right? Okay. So I'm going to throw that out. I'm just trying to give hints. You can guess if you can guess correctly. And so.
What are you playing, Pac-Man?
No, but good guess.
Okay.
Good guess. So I have so many people guess Ness. The other thing I said is that the recovery, the up B, actually was throwing me off. And so I actually dove into some videos this weekend to practice more and found out there's actually a trick to being able to recover. So I was like, oh, maybe this is just me being dumb. No, there's actually something you have to do in order to get recovery to work correctly with this character in certain circumstances. AV looks super confused if you guys are only listening to the podcast, by the way. Like he looks very he looks very confused. So
your hint is very cryptic, which I like. That's
good. So there you go. Those are your hints. You guys get another. Everybody gets another guess. So technically, AV, you get a second guess if you want.
Okay. I'll save it.
Okay.
I'll let you know later.
All right. So that was my little tangent there, but I to kind of get back to what we were talking about, just with like fatigue and things like that. Like, do you and you mentioned learning, and I think I think you kind of really hit the nail on the head for me. And it's not that like. By no means do I feel like I've mastered the character, but I felt like I got to the point that I wasn't learning that much more. It was more about me just trying to. At this point, it's more about me just getting my neutral game, getting my fundamentals, getting my just getting my play style, right? Like putting to work everything that I've learned, and. That to me is like the long road ahead. You know what I'm saying? And and then the other factor too is like I'm looking at this as like I've got to look at like my Twitch stream and things like that. And I was watching my viewer count just die when I played Smash, and so I'm like, okay, well I've actually started playing Smash just pretty much by myself on the weekends. Just trying to, still working on Mario and then still working on this new pocket. And And so, but that's something that's actually been kind of, and here's the thing. When you move from Mario, who's pretty much lightning quick, to characters that aren't as fast, it really it kind of messes with my head a little bit, because I'm like, I can't get to the to the areas of the stage as quickly as I can with him, things like that. And so that's actually brought some new life to the game for me, because it's like, oh, this is a new challenge. There's so much to learn here. I'll sit I took the character into quick play, and I lost in my first loss. I lost over 1 million points. My first, and I was like, okay, whoa. I'm gonna pump the brakes here. So just went back into the training room. But what I'm enjoying is, like, I'm practicing certain things so much, and at this point, like, I hadn't even watched any videos. I just wanted to kind of like think about the times I had played against this character, the combos I'd seen, things like that, and trying to figure out some of those things on my own, right? And then I've since gone and watched one video and took a few things away, but I feel like there's so much to learn with this character at this point that, like, I'm forgetting to do certain things. I'm focusing on other things so much.
Yeah.
And so it's that I think it was from Shrek, right? I'm just like, it's like an onion. You just keep peeling the layers back, right?
So if I may, I actually wanted to talk about that. In my opinion, picking up a secondary that's more complex than your main is sometimes a detriment to your play. A secondary should be an asset. It should be an attachment. It's like an extended magazine on a gun. It's not like you're switching to a new gun. You want to be able to have it like plug in to your main. The problem with playing extremely complex characters, I'm not saying that you did. I wanted to talk about this anyway. The problem with playing extremely complex secondaries is that you don't work on your fundamentals. When you play a character that's really complex, you have so many strange options and so many like things you need to surprise people with that you end up relying on surprise factor instead of fundamentals. When you play a character like Lucina, or maybe even like Pikachu, these characters aren't really surprising. They have very clear game plans and very good tools. Learning how to use very good tools and learning how to and the fact that they're kind of easy to pick up and easy to start getting results with because the tools are so good, you start making reads a lot faster. You start developing a lot of the basic skills you need for the game. So my recommendation whenever I tell someone, if you're like falling out of love with your character or the game, or you need something to change it up, pick a simpler character than your current one, because often that's what will kind of breathe new life into your fundamentals, unless you just want to have fun. Like, then if you just want to have fun, just go for it, and the character's vibes with you, go for it. But if you are looking for results, in my opinion, your secondary should always be less complicated than your main.
I don't think that's the case for what I'm doing, because I mean, Mario, cool. You don't get too much. He's kind of your, he's like a vanilla latte, right? It's probably why I like him so much.
It's kind of hard to get less complicated than that. But I mean, Mario does have a lot of Mario's like a blank slate, like a beautiful canvas that you can paint on.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. So what I'm making sure to do is that I bounce back and forth, that I'm not focusing too much on the pocket without but it is really, I mean, I would say that it's I'm probably playing a little more defensively and focusing a little bit. I know that the focus is going to be a little bit more on the mix-up versus just the raw aggression, because I just don't think the way this character plays that's going to work very well. So and chat keeps trying to guess, but nobody's guessed yet. So if anybody guessed it, I'll let you know. But but I'm having fun. And that's cool. I think that's what's that's That's the main thing, you know. And I am
That's
playing
most
other
important.
games. I've been putting time in with Mario Kart. You know, I've just been going hard on Mario Kart, and that's where I'm having the most fun. I'm also trying to play. I'm playing that SteamWorld Quest right now, and I've been kind of grinding my way through that. And so, I mean, there's only so much time in the day, right? And you just, you know, I do want to get back into what I need to do for myself, and maybe this will help anybody else that's feeling this. If you haven't been going to your local, maybe you need to get back in that, you know, get back in the habit. And for me, it's just been bad timing with when my local is. It's not been because I didn't want to. It's just been, you know, my nephew has a birthday and that's the same night, as you know, that kind of stuff. It's so you know, so
I agree. Go to your locals. It's really important. I've actually been a little bad about that too. So that is good advice for me. I just built a new gaming rig. So I've been distracting myself with that. It's like the first time I've ever built a computer, so it was really exciting. So I'm glad that I'm also getting the chance to kind of play other games and
going pro in Fortnite, aren't you?
No, never. Not even once.
That'll be the next character in Smash is the Fortnite guys. So
actually, let me get this straight. I don't think Fortnite's a terrible game. I just don't. I was not sucked into it. I don't actually like it that much. Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's hurry up and get this thing wrapped up. No, I'm just messing with you. So okay. Well, hey, we're gonna get into a character breakdown. We're gonna talk AV's main, Donkey Kong.
Yeah, let's do it. I love Donkey Kong.
All right, so Donkey Kong. Let's talk about his neutral game.
Sure thing. It's completely character dependent or matchup dependent. His neutral game will completely change depending on what character you're playing against. He is a very versatile character, a surprisingly versatile character that can switch between a grappler style and a sword style, and a kind of a fighter brawler style. Knowing when to use each one of your tools and knowing when to rely on one style rather than another is really important to mastering the character.
Let's talk about the approach tools.
Sure thing. So like I said with neutral. So let me kind of break down the neutral first. So you want to basically use your tilts to space out. You don't necessarily want to be approaching. So which is why neutral kind of beautifully blends into approaching, is that a lot of DKs you'll see just kind of throwing out dash attack. Dash attack's a great move. It's this crazy roll that has a really long-lasting hitbox, incredibly punishable and very reactable, and you can also pretty much read it really easily. If a DK is relying on dash attack, it's probably because the player has not been accustomed to using some of DK's more patient options. DK should be approaching with walk. DK's walk is one of the fastest walks in the game, and the fact that you can run, you can basically do any action out of run in this game has conditioned a lot of people to not use walks. You actually do actions faster out of walk than you do out of run, so it's important to kind of master how just the beautiful and elegant act of walking and using down tilt, walking and using forward tilt, and those are going to be your main tools to space in the neutral. You can also use back air if your opponent is preferring the air, but approaching is a very delicate balance because you can't, like I said, you don't want to be running and dash grabbing. Ultimate's not a game where dash grab's good. Also, DK's dash grab is pretty bad. So the approach options are using stage control, walking to kind of pressure your opponent into acting, and then using your really long range moves to just throw out and take up space, and then condition them into doing one of three options that you can, such as jump, shield, roll, and then you go from there to use your amazing advantage game to just punish them and deal massive amounts of damage at one time.
So, dealing massive amounts of damage, combos?
Combos. DK has a lot of combos, but in my opinion, if you're just learning the character, don't learn combos. That's not where I get most of my damage from, and I've pretty much used every DK combo there is. Most of my damage I get is from up airs. Getting people into juggle situations and up airing them 5 times in a row is how you can rack on 70 to 80% in less than 10 seconds. Like, it is often the way to go, and a lot of the time that gets set up with grabs. So like I said, you're going to be using your tilts and your back air and your really good range to condition people into shield. Then you can go in for the strike. Once you have people conditioned to shield, you can grab them. Now, DK's grab leads, DK's cargo up throw leads into up air, leads into forward air at lower percents. I generally only go for up air, so what I'll do is I'll put them on my back by pressing forward. So I'll do the cargo throw, toss them up, and then I'll up air them. Now, often this puts your opponent in an interesting situation. They can either air dodge, or they can jump, or they can try and attack. DK's up air goes through nearly everything in the air, so if they try to contest your up air with an attack, they will lose 99% of the time. So your up air is pretty safe. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look for what they do. Do they immediately jump out of your up air? In that case, if they burn their jump, like just wait for their jump and then just follow up with another up air. If they air dodge immediately, so what's going to happen is you're going to up air them once, you're going to drift back to the ground, and you're going to jump, and you're going to see what they do. And if they air dodge, wait out the air dodge, and then follow up another up air. And often up air combos into itself. So especially if you're on a stage with platforms, you can get like 2 or 3 true up airs, like just comboing into each other. So just if you want simple DK combos, just focus on up airs, in my opinion.
Got it. Okay. All right. Let's talk about finishers then.
Sure. So finishing a stock with DK is probably in my opinion, where people struggle with the character. It's just crazy, right? Because DK has so many like crazy kill options. Like there's Giant Punch, there's the side B bury into pretty much anything, into Imagination. There's down air into up air. There's forward air into up air on stage. There's down air into Giant Punch on stage. There's taking someone and cargo F throwing them off at 100%, which is guaranteed if you grab them at ledge. Cargo down throw. Most of the sword characters, they don't have good horizontal recovery. DK, and my favorite, which is aerial down B, aerial hand slap into up smash, which combos anywhere from 70 to 110%. The problem is because DK has so many, and obviously the smashes, DK has so many kill tools that people get overwhelmed. What I do is I let it come to me. I never go for a specific kill option or specific kill tool. I say, if I get this, cool, I'm just going to move on to using other stuff. So what I'll do is I'll use hand slap in neutral. I'll use aerial hand slap. What I'll do is I'll do a B reverse down B. A B reverse down B is kind of like a quarter circle down input. Those are really important because that is pretty much DK's coolest movement option, and it confirms into up smash or up air at higher percents. Additionally, I will just be throwing up back airs. If someone's jumping in the air, back air starts killing at around 120 to 130. If someone is shielding at the ledge, I'll go grab them and throw them off the stage. It's very situational. There's not any, with DK, you have to learn how to go with the flow. Everything, your opponent is likely going to be dictating the pace of the game initially, and then once you get them into disadvantage, that's when you get to dictate the pace of the game. But every time you try to force something, every time you try to force your kill confirm or a specific idea onto them, that is where DK players suffer, because DK players can't force specific ideas on people. DK players have to go with the flow, understand what their opponent wants, and then use one of his devastating punish options to capitalize on that.
Got it. I know I remember when the game was first, when Ultimate first dropped, and there was a few different times I got grabbed and then thrown into the side of the stage,
right.
and didn't tech and just bounced to oblivion. So that was fun, but although it was happening to me, it was still pretty satisfying to watch. I'm just gonna make sure.
I actually never go for that. I never go for it because I just assume people will tech, so I just never go for it.
Right. Well, like I said, it was really. I haven't seen anybody do it in a long time. But when Ultimate was first came out, there were a few different people playing. That
was probably a rude awakening. Like, yes, you should learn how to tech. That's pretty brutal. Honestly, I hate that when that hits, it's pretty disgusting because it'll kill you at like 30 or 40%, especially as Mario.
Yeah, it was low. There was almost real tears. So let's talk about Edgeguarding.
Sure thing. Another thing that I love talking about, because a lot of DK players don't edgeguard. DK has one of the best aerial mobilities in the game. Aerial mobility and aerial acceleration. This is your ability to kind of jump to move in the air and get to your opponent fast in the air. You should be going off stage and back airing your opponent every single time that you can. Obviously, there's some exceptions. I think there's like some characters that can evade this. I'm not gonna detail and list out all of these characters, but it should be obvious if you can't get them. But characters like sword characters, you should be running off immediately when they go off the stage and intercepting them. You can intercept nearly every recovery with back air. Back air is a disjointed hitbox, which means which means if they try to counter it with an attack, your back air will go through their attack. That being said, because it's so strong, you can often get really, really early back air edge guards. Additionally, weak back air confirms into strong back air, which is kind of the craziest thing. So if you get a weak back air off stage, it immediately confirms the strong back air at mid percents, which gets you kills a lot of the time. If you're crazy, you go for down air. If there's a Fox, if you're playing against a Spacey, which is Fox, Falco, Wolf up B is a little weird. It might tag you, so I'm always wary around Wolf. But Fox or Falco, I go off and I down air them every time. If you're not hitting your down airs against Fox or Falco off stage, you lose that matchup. Otherwise, it's pretty even in my opinion. A lot of people will say they struggle, but if Fox is off stage, you get down air kills at 0. So, like in most situations, down air will just outright kill them. So you need to be edge guarding where you can. Sometimes people use down B. If there's a recovery that I don't think I'm very confident at getting, aerial hand slap has multiple hitboxes, so I'll kind of use that to hope that one of the hitboxes on the refresh rate hits them, and then the final hit will spike them. So aerial down B can be used to edge guard sometimes. It's not my go-to option. Like I said, running off and back airing often nets me most of my kills off stage, so that is what I'd get used to at first.
Let's talk recovery.
It's bad. it's bad, but if DK didn't have a bad recovery, he would be like overwhelming in my opinion. DK has probably the worst vertical in the game, worse than Little Mac, I think. There's probably some character with worse vertical, but I can't even think of one right now. You have to be mixing up your recovery and save that double jump like it's your firstborn child. Like that double jump is what gives you all of your vertical and all of your mix-ups off stage. You should be delaying your up Bs back to stage. You should be delaying your double jumps. You should be mixing it up as much as humanly possible off stage. Now this is a bit of an advanced technique, but this is what I do every single time I'm recovering. There's something called a turnaround special. This is not a B reverse, it's called a turnaround special. This is done by pressing the opposite direction and then pressing B. What this allows you to do is it allows you to reverse it allows you to turn around while charging your giant punch in the air. Now this is cool because when you turn around and start charging, that means you can start throwing back airs out at the person trying to edge guard you. This is essential because back air, like I said, is really disjointed. So if you start throwing back airs at someone that's trying to edge guard you, oftentimes it'll either make them scared or it'll hit them off to a place where they can't edge guard you anymore. if you lose your double jump and you start up and you're far out and you're up being back to stage, consider yourself dead. Like pretend like you should just say, okay, I'm dead, because then it'll be a nice surprise when you actually survive. It's true. In fact, you should do that mostly to condition yourself into understanding that good players every single time will spike your up B back to stage if you're recovering without a double jump.
Got it. Let's talk about stage choice. What are you banning and what are you picking?
Completely matchup dependent. I generally want stages with platforms, but that changes, right? Because my favorite stages are obviously Yoshi's Story and Battlefield. Battlefield is cool because once you get one up air, you jump, get another up air, jump to the platform, get another up air, and then I can kill people at wildly early percents with just up airs. However, this is not always the case. Consider the Fox matchup. The Fox matchup is you get up aired a lot easier than you get to up air him. So you don't want to take Fox to Battlefield. You want to take Fox to Final Destination, where you can juggle Fox in the air. So that is likely going to be your MO when you're playing against characters that can juggle you really easily. Now, but let's just say you're playing against a character that likes a lot of space, such as, well, Pikachu and Pichu like throwing Thunder Jolts at you like for forever. So you never want to go to Kalos. Kalos, in my opinion, is DK's worst stage by far. I ban Kalos every single time that I play. There's very few matchups that I actually like Kalos in. The platform messes with your recovery. The amount of space is awful. The high ceiling, I think it has the highest ceiling in the game, so that's going to hurt you a lot. So matchups can be wildly different on that stage, especially if you're playing against a character like Snake. You're going to have a really rough time on that stage. In terms of the other stages, you're going to have to go to some of the other ones. You should get used to playing on Smashville. You should get used to playing on Lilat. You should get used to playing on Town and City, because those three are, in my opinion, the neutral ones against most matchups. Stadium 2 is funny. For some reason, people like saying, "Hey, do you want to go to Stadium?" when they sit down to play with you in tournament, and I love that, because Stadium 2 is pretty good for DK. You get out of combos really easily with the platforms. The platforms interrupt most combos. Like when I'm playing against Pikachu or Pichu, I can just tech on those beautifully spaced platforms. Additionally, DK's platform DKO, or people like to call it Ding Dong, works really well on Pokemon Stadium 2. So if you want to look up how to perform a platform DKO, I don't want to kind of spend too much time going into it right now. So look up either DK Will's video or some other DK gun on YouTube. You'll find it.
Let's talk about bread and butter. What's the bread and butter with DK?
Cool. Yeah, I kind of did want to go into some of the more interesting parts about his neutral. One of the most interesting parts is down tilt. Down tilt is DK's best spacing move, not only because it has a lot of range and is disjointed, but also because it trips. I believe it has, correct me if I'm wrong, someone else on the internet, but at least from Smash 4, it had a 40% trip rate. This is pretty high. So what you want to do in training mode is you want to go to training mode, hit people with down tilt, and when they trip, confirm it into grab. You should be getting this 10 times out of 10. Every time someone trips on your down tilt, you should be able to confirm it into grab. Trip confirming is one of the most important things with DK, because trip guarantees grab. Guaranteed grabs are like few and far between in this game. So especially with a character like DK that struggles to get grabs in normal scenarios, using down tilt to confirm into trips is your bread and butter. In other matchups where it can be sometimes hard to hit people with down tilts or normal tilts, back air is kind of your let's just say you're completely struggling in a matchup. Spamming back airs is totally okay. It keeps you mobile. Like I said, DK has amazing aerial mobility. So spamming back airs a lot of the time wins you matchups. Consider the Bowser matchup. Bowser beats you when you're on the ground. Bowser has much better run speed and much better out of shield options. Back airing Bowser is the way to go. So especially characters who just beat you on the ground. You want to use your superior aerial mobility and aerial mix-up options to basically maneuver around them, and that completely changes the dynamic of the matchup. Like I said, DK is not necessarily like good playing him the same way in every single matchup. In order to understand how to play with DK, I guess I want to go. Actually, I want to have this as its own separate section about the mentality while playing DK. So I'll leave that for another section.
Okay.
But in terms of bread and butters, confirming down tilt, learning how to space your back air, learning how to space your tilts. That is going to be your absolutely your bread and butter. Oh yeah, and if you want to be a little more advanced, learn how to B reverse down B. If you watch any of my tournament sets, I am like moving all over the place with B reverse hand slap.
Okay. So I only have I just have one last point, but you want to talk about the mentality. So let's get into that real quick.
Sure thing. So playing a heavy is completely different than playing a normal character. There is a mental formative process that goes into playing a heavy character. If you don't go through this process, I mean, I'm making this sound super edgy and anime, but it's kind of true. Like, playing a heavy involves being okay with getting hit. It involves being okay with being down 1 or 2 stocks. Because you have this extremely explosive ability to take out stocks and deal 80 to 90% within like really small periods of time, you are never out of the game. If someone gets me, I'll give an example. There was one game where I was on Lylat and I was playing against a really good player. He got me to 140% without me even touching him. I was not in the slightest, like I wasn't scared in the slightest. I basically got one grab back through him and down aired him at 10%. And he died.
Wow.
And if you, I don't know if you'll believe me, but I didn't get hit for the rest of the game, and I 3-stocked him.
Wow.
Like, you have to be okay with that happening to you and you being able to do that. You need to be able to turn on the switch. Your advantage state has to be like pristine. Obviously, this is more like in the mid to high level of competitive Smash. But if you really want to take this character to the max and to the highest potential, you want to be like mastering your ability to build it up, like take all of these hits. It's like, you know, the bide attack in Pokemon. Wait, you haven't played Pokemon, have you? Wait, I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, but no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that you have to be able to absorb a lot of attacks and then be able to immediately dish it out like threefold on people. So like when you get hit, you don't think about, oh, it's bad that I got hit. You think about it, okay, I needed to get hit there because otherwise I would have died. Like, you have to take hits. You start playing this like mental math game of how many hits it's okay to take instead of trying to avoid everything. There's this like privilege that comes with playing like a really like fast and versatile characters such as like Pichu or Inkling. Because those characters are so fast and so mobile that they can go entire stocks or entire matches without getting hit. DK, you accept that you're going to get hit. You accept that you have that you have this game plan that involves trading, that involves like just exploding on people at random moments when you see like the 1 or 2 openings. I normally only win neutral against top tier characters about 20 to 30% of the time, but I can still win a majority of my games even when I'm not winning neutral a lot of the time. That is the kind of mentality that's really important when not just playing DK but playing any heavy character or big bodied character.
Got it. I like that. That's good. That gives me something to think about, honestly, because like I'm one of the things that runs through my head every time I start a match, don't get hit.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, from the Smash documentary, right? Don't get hit.
Yeah. Thanks, Isaiah. Yeah. And it's crazy because like I don't think that, but it's like, should I think that? And the answer is like maybe not. But like I don't think don't get it. I said don't get hit when possible. Right.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm let's just say I'm playing against Pikachu, one of DK's worst matchups. There are times where you are going to take damage. You are guaranteed to take damage. Pikachu sends you off stage. You have two choices. You either go high and you land really unsafely on stage and you take some combo or some percent, or you go low and you get down aired. You have to be okay with making this conscious decision. I'm going to land unsafely on stage. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to take damage. That needs to be drilled into your head. Otherwise, you're just going to die at ridiculously early percents with this character.
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive, but I totally get it. I totally get it. So the last thing is, and you kind of just touched on it there, but what are some of the worst matchups?
So you'll find that every matchup looks bad, like on paper. I talk about this routinely with people because it's one of the funniest things to talk about DK with. I don't think DK is a bad character. It's just on paper he loses a lot of matchups. Well, because his disadvantage is so bad, you can. It is very easy to be killed within like 10 seconds of the match starting, or even be down 2 stocks really quickly. He has such an atrocious disadvantage that that's essentially why people completely stop playing him. But the problem is that humans aren't perfect. DK, in my opinion, as I've said, as I like to say, is not a counterpick for characters. It's a counterpick against playstyles. People who have significant Achilles heels in their playstyle can be gimped by DK, because DK takes advantage of these small cracks in your armor and basically pushes those advantages to ridiculous heights. I will go as far to say that DK easily has a top 10 advantage state in the game, if not better. And taking advantages of this is key. Some of the matchups, to get into specifics, some of the matchups that I find particularly bad, as Peon rubbed it in earlier, Inkling is a really terrible matchup. Inkling forward air is guaranteed off stage against you and will edge guard you 100% of the time. If you don't recover high against Inkling, you will die 100% of the time, because forward air just beats Donkey Kong's up B. Additionally, Inkling has the mobility to not get grabbed, and Inkling low profiles with their dash. Inkling has a lot of ways to condition you into shield, and there's a lot of issues in the neutral with that. Also, guaranteed up throw up air confirmed that has a 50% window after 140%. So they have guaranteed kills on you. Pikachu, also pretty bad. I think Pikachu is actually worse than Pichu. If DK does anything to Pichu dies. Pichu dies from down B to up smash at 40 to 50%. Pichu dies from the platform cargo throw KO at 40%. Because
it's
human error exists.
Throwing a football almost, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Pichu dies from cargo forward throw off stage at ridiculously early percents, and that's one thing. Always go for cargo forward throw. What you're gonna do is if this is on the stage, you're gonna do an arc with your jump, and right at the end, right at the 3/4 point of that arc, you forward throw them. This is guaranteed once they're past about 105%. They cannot mash out of it as long as you grab them at the edge of the stage. People often go for the down throw. That is incorrect. You go for the forward throw. The only times you go for down throw are against Simon, Richter, Marth, Chrom, Ike, and maybe Mario and Ganondorf. Yeah, so just characters with even Mario, I sometimes go for F throw because his vertical is better than I usually think it is. So, yeah, and that's going to be and so kind of going back to character matchups. You will lose to characters that can push their advantage really far. And if they push their advantage state flawlessly, you lose. You straight up lose the matchup. Thankfully, humans are imperfect, and you will get small openings. Against really bad matchups, Fox can seem bad, but if the Fox plays imperfectly, one small punish can turn into a stock really quickly. Expect to win neutral no more than 40% of the time. If you're winning more than 40% of the time, you are playing against a fundamentally worse Super Smash Brothers player than you. And that's okay. People have all different skills. But notice that if you're winning neutral a lot, take that as a blessing. Take it as your fundamentals are likely better than your opponents. You should not be winning neutral that much, which should train you to take your advantage to the next level when you can.
It's great advice. Great advice. Hey, we're gonna put a bow on this thing, man.
Cool.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. We're at an hour 10 minutes. I can't even believe it. I thought it was
That's awesome.
I thought it was gonna be a quick one, but nope. So, AV, where can people find you?
People can find me at A plus my long Indian last name, A Vaidyanatha. And if you don't want to like learn my last name, go to @Beyond Metagame. It's the podcast that me and Peon host. We Twitter left no room for the, so it's gonna be @Beyond Metagame. So you can find my Twitter there and my co-host Peon's Twitter there.
Right on, man. Right on. And guys, go check it out. iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, YouTube, all the places. Beyond the Metagame. Right? Yeah, with the typically.
Yeah, with the.
Yeah, so go check it out. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. These are great guys. So, and AV, like, short notice was like, I had somebody request, like in the last day or two, a Donkey Kong character, and I was like, oh, I'll see what AV's doing. You know, I think it was in the conversation yesterday, and I just tagged you, and you were like, yeah, I'm game. So, so there you go. So thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, it was a lot of fun. I love talking about Donkey Kong.
Love it. Guys, you can follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all the places. Is that N64Josh. Of course, go see our boy Crawler at Nightcrawler without the E, 724 on Twitter and Twitch. Guys, the music you're hearing right now is the Metal Melee theme. You can go to n64josh.com/Metal Melee if you want to check it out. Of course, we got the Audible Trial. Go to audibletrial.com/SBC. Chair I'm sitting in from OPC, n64josh.com/OPC. Save $10 at checkout. And I just want to thank you guys for listening. All right, this next week's going to be a little different because I'm going on vacation. So stay tuned. We got something kind of fun planned for you. So remember to tweet at me who you think my secret pocket is, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye now.